Head on down to the feature match area and check out some a little bit of time walk action here. So, by the way, this list must be nice because these guys are both 10-1 and have finally found themselves sitting across from each other.
Yeah, the list.
For Helio.
Yeah, there's a few card different, but I mean, I don't want to boil down matchups to single statements because I think Magic tends to be more complex, but the Titan Shift Mirror is about as close to a play draw match as you get.
Yes, this is a relative non-interactive.
Yeah. A lot of the cards that would hurt, this strategy tend to not be playable in the strategy. The only card you could really play in the mirror is something like Fulminator Mage, and most people don't. So at that point, it really becomes about who's on the play, who can get Valakut going the fastest. And it's what it boils down to. It's really hard to break serve. Neither player has a way to really get it like a real nut draw. Usually it's mana ramp on turn 2, mana ramp on turn 3, and then we just prime time on turn 4.
Yeah, the chat was saying, is this worse than the Lantern Mirror? And
nah, this is super fast.
No, this is way quicker.
Also, the Lantern Mirror is super fascinating.
I think it is too, to be honest, but it is a bit of a slog.
It's like
it's not like it ends quickly.
You know how, like, in a lot of fantasy realms, like, there's this, like...
Fantasy realms?
There's, like, a chaos realm or plane, and, like, nothing makes sense.
Is this the flavor cast all of a sudden? What's happening right now?
Sure. But, that's what the Lantern Mirror probably is. It's just a lot of arcane magic that makes no sense whatsoever.
Sure.
And you watch and your mind goes ballistic. This is a lot simpler. You just have to get the Valakuts going. Yeah, and I mean... Marshall has the prime time in hand. Really needs a mana accelerant here.
Yeah, we see on Helio Lou's side of the battlefield, he's played 2 of them, an Explorer and a Farseek, where so far Marshall's only gotten a chance to play the Farseek. Now he has one here, but it's a little slow.
But by the way, the most important thing to be aware of here is you do not, if at all possible, do not fall to 18. One of the ways to break serve is one player scape shifting with 7 lands to deal exact damage. So, because you could go mana ramp on turn 2, mana ramp twice on turn 4, and then scape shift for 18. So the way to avoid that as the player on the play is don't take 2 damage.
Okay.
Make
sure that you don't.
Right. So that's going to make actually Lightning Bolt a really important card on the draw because you can afford the card down, and it's one of the only ways to break serve. Go ramp, double ramp, plus Lightning Bolt for 7, so for 18 damage. But yeah, here. 19 is almost infinitely more than 18 because Marshall is going to be forced to sacrifice to secure Tribe Elder. But once prime time comes down, it's going to be pretty much over for... If Liu has prime time, it's essentially over here. And it is prime time.
Marshall says, I know how this works.
I write a lot about it. Here, you can grab a Valakut and a Mountain for 6 damage, or 2 Valakuts for 18 down the line. Definitely, at least 1 Valakut is correct, and then after that, yeah. But with 2 Valakuts, another, Marshall goes to 14. You only need 3 more Mountains to kind of do the job. But yeah, losing the die roll in this mirror is horrible.
Brutal.
There's not really a really good answer to Primeval Titan. Like, I mean, if you have Anger of the Gods or Double Lightning Bolt or something along those lines, your opponent just slams another one or escape shifts. Like, you're not actually developing as a result, and then your opponent can also just play a bunch of mana acceleration because any Mountain deals so much damage as well. Mm-hmm. You don't even need another prime time, just more damage.
Right.
Marshall drawing the card here. Probably going to slam down a Primeval Titan. With a Forest in play. Actually, if there's a way to kill this Titan, Marshall is kind of forced to do so. But it doesn't seem so. So we're probably going to hit Game 2, sorry. By the way, I kind of like this from Marshall. Putting the land the first land that he's playing for the turn in front. Mm-hmm. Making it clear I have made a land drop.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, when every land represents 3 or 6 damage or something, it certainly matters.
Yeah. And I know Li Shitian and Yang Win Chun, like for the Pro Tour, for now Mythic Championship 25th anniversary, I guess, they played, that the Bant Turbo Fog deck, and they would play the land reverse to showcase that it was played for the turn.
Play it like upside down.
Yes.
Yeah,
So it
gotcha.
indicated this is my land drop for the turn. It's actually kind of nice to see that, especially in decks where land drops matter, just to avoid confusion, because it's one of the easiest confusions. You know, when your turn is you play land, do a very long turn, and go, have I played land or not? And it can cause issues, especially if you're drawing cards or ever shenanigans. But here we're going to see you deal way, way, way more than 18 damage with Primeval Titan number 2 in hand, Secure Tribe Elder, Primeval Titan attacking. This is going to be easily lights out.
Yeah. If you take a look at the sideboard here, Eduardo, because this game looks like it's about wrapped up. What are the? Is there a way to kind of break the synergies here? Or is there any way that you could try to get ahead?
I'm looking.
Okay.
Not really.
The tools aren't really there, right, in this color pair for that type of thing.
Your game 1 plan is your best out.
Yeah.
You could go for something like Rugic Far. There's one in Marshall's sideboard. That's about as far as we're going, really.
Okay. Well, things went according to plan there. Heliolu ends up winning game number 1. Now, this is supposed to be Marshall Jankowski's game to win here, and this is a good start. In fact, probably the best start. That's a search for tomorrow on the stack.
Yeah.
Or on the suspend, I mean.
If you can suspend turn 1, that's really important. It's mana ramp on turn 1 rather than turn 2, so that's one way as well to break serve, but you need a really powerful hand to break serve.
Right. But of course, this is Marshall Jankowski on the serve, if you will.
Yeah, so it's even harder to beat.
Right. Right, exactly, making it even more difficult for Heliolu to try to come back. But
trying to think if there's a way to get to 6 mana. So if you play Search for Tomorrow on turn 1 and then get a land, you get to 4, then free, then 4 with Search, then 5. So I don't think there's a way to get to 6 on turn 3. I don't believe so. I'm trying to count, but I don't think so. But yeah,
is this game over? Like, I guess Marshall Jankowski needs to keep hitting land drops or whatever. But
yeah, land drops and Primeval Titan.
Yeah.
Relic of Progenitus just draws a card. That is about.
Graveyard's not relevant in this.
This
matchup.
indicates how little sideboard action exists.
Yeah.
Just 2 mana draw a card sometimes is okay. I mean, Marshall is playing Obstinate Bailoff to just gain life and time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
probably better than something else.
Yeah. I think Marshall, there is one card that can help break serve, which is Colony Heart Expedition.
Oh, okay.
If you play that on turn 2, you can crack it on turn 4 with a very powerful Scape Shift, since it allows you to get 2 lands in one. So if you go something like Search, Colony Heart Expedition, and then turn 3 Acceleration, your opponent goes Primeval Titan, you can get there with a Scape Shift.
You can actually break serve. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And by breaking serve, if you're tuning in and you're wondering, this is a mirror match where being on the play is extremely important, because the play pattern is you get Primeval Titan on turn 4 and then win on turn 5. And we're looking for ways to essentially win on turn 4, since that's the only way you can break serve. They're unlikely, but they're possible. The most important card is going to be something like Colony Heart Expedition that can get multiple lands.
Yeah, this is interesting in the way that it's not really that interesting, in that this is effectively an interactionless matchup.
Yeah.
It's just 2 ships sailing by in the night. They don't actually notice each other. It's just and of course
actually
being on the
one noticed the other, so they went faster.
That's true. Yeah, one noticed the other when one of them sank the other one and then went to the next game.
What was the ship reference to Scape Shift's new art?
Yeah, sure. There you go.
Why am I the flavor person in this pair?
It's the second time today. You had me on an alternate universe plane earlier, and now we're talking about the artwork on Scape Shift. So
yeah.
I blame you, Eduardo.
It's the new. It's how you get competitive nowadays. It's a good way to relax, actually. Like
being in the lore world or whatever.
Sure.
No, I don't find that relaxing. It's very stressful.
Is it stressful?
By the way,
what about having all these beautiful mountains?
Yeah. So I was going to say, I know you don't care about basics, but I do, and this is weird because I don't only share a name with Marshall, but those are the exact artworks that I use for my beta basics, which I also happen to have.
I mean, this is a time walk match. Are you sure we haven't recorded this and it was?
I don't think that's me. I'm not really a Titan Shift player, but
yeah.
I would trade spots. Marshall Jankowski is 10-1 with his Titan Shift deck.
Yeah.
And by the way, he's going to win this game, it looks like, because he had the things that we mentioned. He had the accelerations early, but he did need to keep hitting land drops and play Primeval Titan, and he did those things.
Yeah, exactly.
So GG.
Yeah, and Liu just couldn't break serve. Colony Heart Expedition is kind of the only card that can really help to do so. Yeah.
But Marshall has a tough task here because even with a win here, it is, the die roll went to Helio Lu, and that means being on the draw in this matchup, it has, well, so far, we're 2 for 2 on, the player to start things off winning the game.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Marshall Jankowski's going to win this game. There's maybe some miracle that Helio Lu could do, but I don't see it.
I don't see a card in hand that can kill this Primeval Titan, and that's going to be more than enough.
That's kind of that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
if he could, would he have a chance? Like, let's say he goes. Let's say he just had 2 lightning bolts or whatever, and just said, "Kill your Primeval Titan."
If Marshall had literal nothing,
okay,
yes, but only if Marshall has literal,
just actual
stone cold, not.
You mean no cards in hand?
Right? Because
I see. Because anything is either a land or a thing that gets a land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and with triple Valakut up,
and free cards, like even if it was a bunch of lands, Marshall could win in free turns.
So, yeah. So we're going to see Summoner's Pact now from Helio Lu to go get a Primeval Titan. And he says, well, while I have this library in my hand, I'm just going to go ahead and cast the Primeval Titan and go get the cards as well. Now, Helio does not currently have a Valakut on the battlefield, so he's going to want to get one of those.
Yeah.
But again,
not
enough to kill the Titan.
I think it's correct to get... Yeah, you can get 2 Valakuts, or it doesn't matter. Liu has Escape Shift, but... Marshall has Prime Time and Prime Time.
Yep. And double Prime Time is easily enough to win the game for the player on the play.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it looks like we're going to have to cut this one a little bit short, but as predicted, Helio wins the match.
On the play.
Again, he's on the play for games 1 and 3. He wins games 1 and 3, and he is 11-1 with the list that he got from his opponent via his website. So pretty cool stuff. And for Marshall Jankowski, he's still in.
Yeah.
Right? Only 2 losses. He can still just run this thing up.
He just needs free wins.
That's right.
It's like,
how hard could it be?
It's not even a league.
Yeah, it's not even a league. So
just an 8-man single limb.
He's going to try to get the job done there, and, of course, Helio needs to hang on as well. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, though, it'll be Marie and Reed back in the booth for more modern action here from Oakland. Don't go anywhere.